Hey guys, it's Chris, and today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to make my kick-butt lasagna. So you'll need a few things. First, you'll need about 3 pans, and I've already gone ahead and filled this one about 3/4 of the way full of water. And a large frying pan, and a small one in the back for sauce. Next, you're going to need a 64 to 67 ounce jar of your favorite spaghetti sauce. Additionally, you will need 3 2-cup packs of shredded cheese. Also, a 32 ounce whole milk ricotta. You also need 1 to 2 eggs. I use 1 as a binder. Just 1 will be fine. And then we're just going to use regular San Giorgio lasagna noodles. Inside of here is just a standard store-bought garlic bread, removed from its bag, wrapped in tinfoil, and left out to be at room temperature so it cooks faster when we cook for lasagna. You will also need 1 to 2 pounds of ground beef. This was on sale, so this is like 2.5 pounds. The more you use, the more meaty it is. I'm probably going to use half of this. 1 to 1.5 pounds is more than enough for me. I usually like my lasagna more on the saucy, cheesy side than I do the meaty side. But you still need some beef in there because it's really good. In your rear burner, I'm going to go ahead and turn that one on like a number 3 or number 4 on my electric stove here. Just plop your sauce in. You can use stuff with garlic, cheese, meat, whatever you want. You're going to want this really saucy. And sometimes I take a little bit of water in this thing. Just a little bit. And then I shake it to get the extra and plop that right in there too. You do not have to do this. I'm a mushroom fan, so I'm just going to use 2 cans. They're the small, what are these? 4-ounce cans of mushrooms. And what I do is I put them right in my sauce. You can buy, your favorite spaghetti sauce might have mushrooms in it. If so, use that. So we're just going to let this heat up. And what I like to do before I cut to the finished meat is I like to take 1 teaspoon of this fresh chopped garlic and put it in with the meat. Maybe a little more, because it's good. I'm a garlic fan. So now I'm going to crank this up, use a metal spatula, and I'm going to basically break this up just to get it as fine as I can in a large bowl. Put your cheese. This is a Colby Jack blend, just some store brand cheese. Like I said, you really only need 2 bags, but I just really enjoy this cheese, and a good cheesy lasagna is great. Take your ricotta, gosh, and basically plop this entire thing. Alright, that's in there. I'm going to use this as a waste container now for recycling. Okay, with that, I'm going to add some salt and pepper. Everybody's like, oh, it's a lot of pepper. No way, man. You're mixing this in for like 6 cups of cheese, 2 pounds of ricotta. So do it up. A little bit of salt. Cheese is naturally salty. Not too worried about that. So right now we just have that. This is still just frying up. It's on a 6. Sometimes I like to add some parsley to this. I'm not worried about it, but I do need 1 egg. You don't have to add an egg, but it helps keep it bound up. And since I'm doing 2 trays, I'm gonna do 2. I'm not worried about separating a little yucky thing. You can if you want. Now, run some water, and you're gonna mix this, take any rings off, with your hands. It might feel gross, but you can wash your hands afterwards. Thoroughly mix the cheese together, and then wash your hands. So now with our hands clean, we can return over to the meat. I left the lid on it so it will get all juicy. That way it helps cook it. So now I'm going to leave the lid off while my noodle water is heating up. I'm also going to go ahead and add the entire box to this pot. Like, that doesn't really fit, Chris. So what I do is I add the entire box. It hangs out a little bit, but I leave it so I can tell when it's going to be close to being done. That's kind of like a timer I use. So continue to chop your ground beef. If you want to, you can even reduce the heat if you need more time. You just don't want massive chunks of meat in your lasagna. This is just some generic extra virgin olive oil. I'm adding that to the noodles to prevent sticking. Once that comes to a boil, the noodles will stick together. So I like to give it a little swirl here, and we're going to increase the burner temperature to get this up to snuff. In the meantime, get your pans out. Mine's going to be the trusty Had It and Forever Pyrex baking dish. This is a, I don't know, like a 14 by 9. I'm also going to use a second one that's a little smaller. What is this? Corningware, made in USA. 2 quart, apparently. 12 by 7. So 12 by 7 on this one. I don't know. So anyway, two of those dishes. With this good and pretty much done, we're going to drain this ground beef just to get all of the grease out. And then we're going to put it back in this pan. So I want to make sure I get all the grease out of the pan. Now, check this out. What I do, I take this and I dump this right here. And I make like a weird meat sauce combination. Because I need that all-in-one sauce. So now, thoroughly mix this together so you have like a meat sauce with the mushrooms. So what you will have is you'll have a hot product of the noodles, the meat, the mushrooms, and the spaghetti sauce in one. You'll have a cold product of the cheese mixture in the other. And with the noodles getting ready to start boiling, we're just about ready for assembly. Now, like I said, if you have a bigger pot and you want a more saucy lasagna, add more sauce. This is a 2.5 pounds of meat. I just used it all. So this is going to be a very meaty lasagna. Normally it's very saucy, very cheesy. I don't usually do a tremendous amount of meat. But you know what? That's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my burners off. And what happens is this. With these things getting ready to boil, they should be getting soft enough to now turn and submerge, because the end will be bent enough with the hot water here where you can fold these in. Now, yes, that's hot. With these all in, and the oil and the water, and you making a mess, what you can do, whew, that burner's still hot. Let them go for a couple minutes. Once this gets up to a boil, it's on high right now. Just turn it off. I mean, this is even close for me. I'm just turning it off. The water is hot enough, probably 210 plus degrees, which is more than enough for what I need, just for the timing. So, don't need the lid. Now, get yourself a spoon. This one is like 20 years old. It's been used so many times. I'm going to put a small amount of sauce and meat on the bottom of this pan and smear it around. This will prevent the bottom noodles from sticking and make your cleanup life when you're done your lasagna a whole lot better. If you want, you can use tongs, you can use a fork, whatever works for you to get a noodle out. Since I don't like hot water or burns, I will use tongs. So I'm going to lay down 3. Now these are not totally done noodles. They're soft. Ooh, that one's breaking. But they're not totally cooked. They will cook. Now, you will cover this generously with meat and your sauce, filling in any ends as a buffer. If you have a pan or a pot that is too, man, that's a lot of meat. That is too long, just fill it in. Because I don't care and it's all getting cooked anyway, use the same spoon, plop yourself like a dollop of cheese. You know what? I'm using a regular spoon. A dollop of cheese up the noodle pack for each one. I use like 3 or 4 on each side. If you have a boatload of cheese like I do, you could really let it have it, but the mixture will get all messed up. Not the mixture of cheese, the sauce mixture ratio. And I kind of pat it down a little bit. You can kind of tell if you're rolling. And then repeat. So I'm trying to do 2 trays at once, so I have it. Mushrooms, if you don't want them. Your top layer was going to be a lot of sauce. You want to totally cover any noodle portions. And then you want to put a nice amount of cheese. Preheat your oven to 350. Whoops. And I'm going to slap this in there while it's preheating. Just the garlic bread. Also, melting the cheese. A little bit of sauce, and I'm going to kind of mix this in. This is my top layer. I just want to be super duper cheesy, saucy, noodly. Now remember, this is extra meat. Normally I don't do this much meat, but heck with it. Alright, so with that, that's kind of the finished, at the moment, product. Parmesan cheese. Apparently everyone uses it all up, and every time I want it, it's never there. So we're going to take the Parmesan cheese and just sprinkle the top a little bit. Doesn't have to be hog wild. So now with the Parmesan cheese on it, you just want to cover it with aluminum foil for the one you're baking. If you're going to do two, now this recipe I'm linking in the description below with the ingredients will be enough for two 9-inch by whatever the heck these are, 12, 14s. Two of these, one for eating, one for the freezer. You can eat at a later date. With your oven preheated, put this in covered for 30. But don't forget about your garlic bread. It only takes like 10 or 15. Now we can do the second pot. So with the second, same scenario. Take the remaining noodles, which are now more than enough done. Your entire stovetop should be turned off. You're going to repeat this 3-layer and cover this with a plastic wrap. The reason I just don't go straight foil, the sauce is acidic. It sits in the freezer. I don't know if this will happen, but metal flavor gets in stuff. I don't want that. Don't want them etching through. So cover it really well. You don't have to wrap the whole thing up, but I just like to get a really good tight seal around the edge. Kind of tuck it underneath a little bit. A little hold. Bunch it up on the end here. Really good tight on the edges. Because these Pyrex have like a little lip where you can do that. If you don't, you figure something out. An air bubble. That one's ready for the freezer. If you don't invest in one of these bad boys, this is a 500-foot, 18-inch wide aluminum foil dispenser. I got it like Costco or Sam's Club or one of those. It was $22. I've had it for years. Son of a bitch. You guys got a drawer full of plastic shit in your house that you just cannot effing stand? I do. We did the same thing with a food service plastic wrap. 3,000 feet. It was like $20-something. I've had it for years. So we still got 22 minutes left on the lasagna. During this time, you can clean up. And remember, your garlic bread is in there. It's been defrosted. If you just chose to throw the freezer loaf in there, it will probably take the whole 30 minutes. But one that has been thawed out will usually take between 15 to 20. And with it totally wrapped up in aluminum foil, you will not have a crispy garlic bread, but it will be a nice bready garlic bread. If you want it crispy, crack the roll open, let the edges brown up. So that's it for now. It's got 21 minutes left, and I will clean up And we'll put this one in the freezer. We'll let that one go. Oh, just a Jew bad. Okay, so with 9 minutes left on the lasagna, I have go ahead and removed my garlic bread. I'm lowering the camera. So with 9 minutes left, we're going to remove, whoo, that's hot. We're going to remove the foil. Alright, so that's it. I'm ready to cut and plate myself some of this stuff. So on my traditional orange plates that I post all of my food pictures with, I'm going to use my washed off metal spatula that we cooked the ground beef with and get myself a piece of garlic bread. Boom. Perfectly done. Crispy, soft. So now I'm just going to cut across and in between a noodle. Now remember how I told you this was Sauce City? Saucy and cheesy. Now I'm not going to go ballistic on it, but it's really good. Really, really good. Cheesy, saucy. You can mix it with some greens or a light salad or just be a pig, and you have 2 trays of this stuff. So inside, ooh, it is super juicy, moist. A lot of people don't like that word, but it's a great lasagna. Triple layer, you could do more, but I don't go anything less than 3. With a good top layer of cheese and mix, you can't go wrong. Thumbs up from me. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.